What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. So first and foremost, if you somehow caught my video this morning but missed my community post, the sincerest of apologies, guys. I am so sorry. The report this morning had a quote from Ryan Reynolds that literally said, "I'm only working on Deadpool for the next 2 years, that's it." And of course, it didn't help that certain publications like Insider were running headlines, "Ryan Reynolds claims he's retiring from playing Deadpool after his next movie with Hugh Jackman." But because the English language is what it is sometimes, what he really meant was, that's the only film I'm working on. Not that he's only going to work on Deadpool for 2 years and then that's it. It's just the only film he'll be working on while he's working on Deadpool. And again, guys, I am so sorry. I usually try to get it as right as possible, and this morning I just didn't. So I apologize for that. In the meantime, I got bailed out because one of the most trusted industry insiders, and within the last hour, sent out a brand new scoop for a narrative plot point on what's going to happen in Deadpool 3 that not only recontextualizes how we're getting Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back, but also opens the door for a ton of reoccurring characters now from the defunct Fox universe. We're going to break down exactly what this report says and what it means for Deadpool 3 ultimately becoming an enormous crossover. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider scoop like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which we are right around the corner from. Could easily hit by this month's end or next. So again, all you have to do, be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, for the record, we actually have a ton of unofficial confirmations already about what's to come in Deadpool 3. Even outside of the Hugh Jackman news, it was only a week before the Hugh Jackman reveal by Ryan Reynolds on his social media that the actor who plays Colossus at a Comic-Con over in Europe revealed he would be back for the film as well, leaving the door open for a possible return of Negasonic Teenage Warhead. We also know from the last couple of days, and coming from the same industry insider that today's scoop comes from in Daniel RPK, that Owen Wilson will be reprising his role as Mobius. He went on to state further that Wilson would have a huge role in the film, other industry insiders adding on saying that Marvel's TVA would be a part of it as well, obviously explaining how Deadpool crosses over into our main continuity 616. Well, today, Daniel RPK took it one step further. His newest scoop says that, quote, Ryan Reynolds has plans to revisit the other Fox franchises in Deadpool 3, including the original Fantastic Four from 2005. Now, while this would explain how we're going to get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because the one we know and love actually died at the end of Logan, this also opens up the door for one Chris Evans to return in the role of Human Torch if truly the original Fantastic Four from 2005 would make an appearance. And if it sounds familiar, it's because it is. There was a confirmed report from Deadpool 2 that Chris Evans' cameo as Human Torch could have actually taken place during the bizarre X-Force interviews, and while they admit, the director Reese confirmed that they never made it that far, it was kicked around, and now here we are, Deadpool 3, and this could actually happen. Now, speaking of previous reports, some of you may remember there was a report circulating a couple of months back that said that when Disney acquired the Fox rights for all these characters, they also inherited a ton of contractual obligations that would keep them from recasting a lot of these X-Men characters until much later in the MCU, say something like Phase 7, and after the multiverse is done. While this obviously does not apply to franchise actors going all the way back to 2005, it would apply to the more recent X-Men franchise actors, like the ones we saw at the end of the Phoenix Saga, but it only applies in that some of these actors might not want to come back. So what this really means is if they're going to truly do a, hey, we're going to jump around to all the Fox universes, they're going to have characters and actors from those Fox universes, and of course it won't be long before the rumor starts that Chris Evans will be back as Human Torch. Yes, there is a unannounced and secret project that has long been reported for the last 2 years that Chris Evans is coming back for, but guys, I would not hold your breath on seeing him as Human Torch, although hey, weirder things have happened, especially in this day and age of the multiverse saga and seeing variants in the way we have. I also think it'll be super interesting if this doesn't line up with what we saw in the post-credit scenes from one of the original Deadpool films where he was quote-unquote tying up the timeline. That's when we saw him interact with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine last with unused footage from one of the earlier films. The Deadpool killing the Marvel Universe could still apply to this storyline as him and Wolverine, maybe presumably Colossus, travel around to the other Fox sagas and kill a bunch of Marvel characters. It would be in line with the original scoops of how this storyline would read. And yes, we heard from Ryan Reynolds in that infamous interview from this morning that's still gonna haunt me, man. I'm gonna double and triple and quadruple check every time I read a sentence now. It really got me this morning. This morning when he talked about the fact that they just pitched the story to Hugh Jackman a couple of days after he signed on to the project, I'm guessing that the story wasn't written until real recently, until they had some creative discussions with Kevin Feige and figured out exactly what they wanted to do. But now hearing that they will visit these other universes is exciting for a couple of reasons. Number one, obviously it means that they're opening up the door to any characters or actors that were present in the Fox universes, even in the Fantastic Four, to possibly make their appearance during Secret Wars. So while it's a relief to hear that Ryan Reynolds isn't retiring for the character, we'll get more Deadpool and possibly a Hugh Jackman in Secret Wars. Now we might see some of these other Fox characters, maybe even get a Magneto, a Professor X, etc. The other exciting thing is this is going to line up perfectly with where they'll be at in the multiverse saga by the time Deadpool is released in 2024, leading into the Kang Dynasty and then eventually Secret Wars. All hell should be breaking loose across the multiverse by this point if they're keeping the continuity in tow. So it seems like holding off on Deadpool, it being pushed down the road as long as it was, actually gave the film an opportunity to become a major crossover. And I think it's no holds barred when it comes to Marvel, Disney, what they're allowed to do in a rated R capacity with Ryan Reynolds and Wolverine, knowing that none of the continuity for those old Fox universes matters at all, so they can basically do whatever they want, which is going to be an absolute party for Ryan Reynolds and Wolverine, especially if they can kill as many characters as they want. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, not only how relieved you are to hear that Ryan Reynolds will be back, and guys, again, I cannot apologize enough, but also that this is going to be a sort of crossover with the other Fox universes, and if they truly are going to revisit that 2005 Fantastic Four, of course, they can't do so without us seeing Chris Evans' Human Torch. How weird will that be? Could those characters ever interact? Chris Evans' Human Torch and Chris Evans' Captain America? I am all ears. Let me know down in the comments quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s all the way up to 1 million subscribers and announcing some brand new giveaways right around the corner. If you want to be entered to win, and for all the giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And while I'd sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Oh, one more thing, only because I haven't mentioned it at the channel. We are not going to have watch parties, obviously, for a while with Disney Plus. We will do for the holiday special on the 25th, but I am a diehard soccer fan. I know my fans across the pond in the UK and Europe will cringe to hear me say soccer. That's what we call it in the US. Football, wherever you are. Guys, I have some of my fondest memories from when I was a kid was waking up at all times in the middle of the morning watching the US soccer team compete in the World Cup during the 90s. I absolutely love it. I'm a huge Atlanta United fan. I've obviously got my EPL teams and international teams I root for, but the US is going into the World Cup in just a week or two with one of the best squads I've ever seen us have. So if you're into that kind of thing, and I know probably a lot of you aren't, or maybe you're like, what the hell? I'm going to be doing watch parties for all the World Cup games here at the channel. I am a diehard. I'm going to sit here and watch them anyway. I couldn't think of a better way to watch them than with the rest of my community here at the channel. And so if you're into that kind of thing, if you'll be rooting for the US or whomever, if you want to come by, we will be doing watch parties for all 3 group games for the US. And then presumably, if we make it out of the group, fingers crossed, we'll do them for all the US games going forward. But I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. I apologize this morning for the erroneous report. It happens. I love you all. See you in the next one. Peace.